Hello and welcome to the first live edition of the Inner Miami Show. I'm one half of your live co-hosting duo, Brandon Griffin, and with me, as always, modeling his unboxed pink hoodie. Oh, wait, I was right. It's a jacket. Is Mr. Mike Longan? How are you, man?
Well, we're gonna get into this so-called jacket because if it's raining, I wouldn't wear it outside. And to me, that's the number one indicator of a jacket is you can wear it outside in foul weather. And this isn't
Mm,
that. This is a wonderful
ugh.
zip-up terry cloth sweater. That is not what I would call a jacket. But besides that, I'm wonderful. Uh Super excited to go live today. Looking forward to some guests, popping in, maybe dropping a message. Unfortunately, Detroit has let us down. So Detroit Lions about 20 minutes ago were up 24-7, and now it's tied 24-24. So I think that's going to impact visitors today. But yeah, we'll see what happens, and we're gonna hope for the best that one of these teams starts whooping butt and people start jumping in. Oh, we do have a
Yeah.
first comment.
Ooh,
Joe,
there he is.
thank you for listening. Appreciate
First
you jumping in
comment
with
of the
today.
night. There he is. Mr. Joker. Not his real name, by the way.
And we are going to show a Joe Kerr video picture later today in the show. We're
We are.
excited to do that. So Joe Kerr is a friend of the show and someone who we've stolen quite a few pictures from. So excited for this.
Yeah. So with that said, let's dive right into it with our first topic. And we normally start off with transfer rumors. We don't have a lot of transfer rumors to talk about this week, but we do have the addition of somebody really, really important, I think, coming up, and that's Mr. Diego Gomez, who is tearing it up on U22 duty with Paraguay. What is it? 3 goals in 2 games?
Three goals in 2 games. I think this is super interesting. Now, I think there's a lot of asterisks right here. He's playing U23 ball. He's competing against U23. It's different than playing, at the same, level as, well, frankly, as playing with Messi. And also,
Messi
I think
played U22 at some point.
that was a long time. About 15
Yeah,
years ago,
but
if I'm doing the math
it
correct.
doesn't mean that there's not somebody good playing U22
No,
right
no.
now.
But again, I'm
So
just
way to
kind of,
discount his accomplishments. That's great.
but I think you can. It's great what he's doing, but I don't think you necessarily say it transfers immediately to club level ball. And the other thing I want to say here is, and I feel like bad, I shouldn't just jump to negative. It's fantastic what he's doing. If you haven't seen some of these goals he's scored, they're bangers. Like they're fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
He's playing great, but again, it's U20. You say U22. I thought it was U23, but it's Olympic level.
23.
It's
Whatever.
Olympic level ball. And I think the other thing that concerns me is there's certain players who play great for their country and play not as great for club. And your favorite American, Christian Pulisic, is probably one of those top guys you always think is more of a country guy than a club guy.
No, Christian Pulisic just isn't that good.
Yeah, I knew you'd go there.
Yeah,
But
that's what it is. He's
I'm
found his level at Serie A and he's tearing it up there. He wasn't EPL. He wasn't an EPL player.
I opened this box for you to go on against Captain America, and you just jumped right in. Let's come out of there. It's fine. You can't respect what he's done for America, and I get that.
What's he done for America?
I mean, he scored goals.
When we won the Gold Cup, wow.
Hey, Nations League, Gold Cup.
We could have won both those trophies without him.
You are a very negative person. Do you still need a hug?
He's not that good.
Listen, I'm sorry that you're losing your manager. I know he's done so much for you.
I don't know why you had to bring that up.
Yeah, because you seem very angry about this, and I just feel like we need to get into it.
I'm just telling
you said it before. Some of our new viewers may not know that you are a diehard Liverpool man, and yeah, it's wow, Joe calling you out is the first bad hot take of the night. Anyway,
so wait to put that on the short. We'll see what happens.
Can I go back to Diego Gomez, or do you want to stay on wherever you're going with this?
You the one who took us to Jurgen Klopp, so please, by all means, let's keep this on Diego Gomez.
I just am concerned. He hasn't played all that great in a black and pink jersey. He's having a tear, right? And I hope this tear means that he's in form. He comes back to first team duties. He plays, the last 2 games of preseason, and we see this great midfielder show up. And frankly, as we'll cover in a minute, we could use midfielders all of a sudden. But I am just very concerned that He didn't show up great last season. He came in supposedly in form, not a great showing, and I'm worried it's not going to translate. So I am tentatively excited here. Like, I want this to be a success. I want this to translate, but I'm not just all of a sudden jumping on the Diego Gomez bandwagon. Ooh,
Oh, wow. Mike V, look at that one.
Pizarro, great. Pizarro has,
Listen,
Pizarro
I
has the
think
most
with
IMCF ever. So like right now, that's not even a hot take. That is just a valid fact.
so, I think with Gomez, I don't think we've seen enough of him to really make a judgment. I will admit that what we've seen so far has not been good. Um, but I also think it's hard to integrate as a midfielder into a team where everybody has basically played together for a while. Um, I think he's young, he's got some potential, and in him playing well for his country just bodes well for him coming into camp, and we get to see what he can really do. And if he can play, great. If he can't, see you later. But I think it'll be telling the first couple games of the season because, as we mentioned, we need the midfielders to perform.
Can we just take a moment to recognize Mike V's takes? Like, hot takes of the night. We got a Yola better than Diego Gomez. Matuidi better than Gomez. These are some takes
Those are
that
something.
even I'm the king of bad takes on this show. I can't even compete against them. So, Mike V, power to you. You run on those. Let's get on to the next thing we wanted to cover.
Yeah. So next thing, unfortunately, is you know everybody's favorite homegrown Benja Kramashi. Um, he's going to be sidelined for the next 2 to 3 months. He had a sports hernia surgery. I think it was either Thursday or Friday, and so he's going to be out for 3 to 4, or probably closer to 3 months, which is really unfortunate because um, he was one of the guys who greatly benefited from playing with Messi and co, and you know seeing what he could do this season was going to be pretty crucial for his development because um, I personally don't think he's long for this league. I think he's got enough upward potential that he can make a move, and he's kind of at the right age, but he's got to show more consistency, and so this is going to hurt those chances. But what are you feeling about that, Mike?
First off, let's start with I feel horrible for the kid. We're all
Yeah.
Ben Ha fans. It's hard not to be a fan of his. I know, kind of going back to US men's national team, some people felt he was called up to that team way too soon, and I'm honestly not going to get into that. But reality is, this is an up and coming kid. We want to see successful. It does stink, but also it's only 2 to 3 months. If you look at it, it's happening first week of February, so it's February, March, April. He's back in training May. He's playing June. He's on the squad for Leagues Cup in July. It's not the end of the world. I don't want to like jinx and say it could be worse, but the reality is it could be a lot worse. Hopefully, this is just they didn't really say have this happened. Hopefully, it's just kind of one of those things that just randomly happened. It's not good, but we have a loaded midfield. It's kind of there's a nice balance here that Diego Gomez is kind of playing really well when this happens to Benha. So I do think this is a chance for some players to get on the pitch. We saw Benha, he was in the starting lineup for the first preseason game, if I recall correctly, first or second, but he started. I think they want him a part of his club, but there's others that are really willing to step into his place.
Yeah, and I think my guy to watch with this injury update is going to be David Ruiz. I think this is kind of his opportunity to really, really shine, and I think we can possibly see like a double pivot with him and Busquets, kind of freeing Busquets to play a little bit higher up the pitch and pass into Suarez and Messi, which I think would be really awesome. But I do also think that you have Kramashi out for a lot longer than I would expect him to. You have him coming back in July. I
I'm
would
saying
guess he's
informed.
probably back playing in May.
Well, so
Would
they
be
said
my
2 to 3
guess.
they said 2 to 3 months. I was assuming that's 2 to 3 months to be actively playing, and then he needs some kind of get back into it time. So he could be on a training pitch in 2 to 3 months, but I'm
Mhm.
not assuming he's first team capable.
I would guess
Uh,
he's. I would guess he probably it's 2 or 3 months until we see him back playing. With the sports hernia surgery, he's pretty young. He should be able to bounce back quick. And that's something. I'm not a medical expert, but that's something I know I've seen other players go through, and they're able to kind of keep their fitness while recovering. So hopefully
yeah,
that's the
that's
case in
great.
this case.
So I'm saying
Yeah,
it's not so bad if he's back in July. If he's back in May, it's even better, right? Like there's no
yeah,
complaints. And
yeah.
then again, throw out there, it's a loaded midfield. So Gressel is listed as
Hmm.
a midfielder. Uh I mean, there's still that recurring Medina. I haven't seen an update on Medina. So he's another midfielder.
Medina and
So
what's the other guy's name? Palavico or
yeah, like
Palavicho or something.
we're really loaded. You said Ruiz. And the
Hmm.
fact is, if you look at any of our tactical lineups, if we're playing like essentially a 5-2 front three or something like that, 5-3-2, you've already got Busquets as a guaranteed spot in the midfield. There's not a lot of playing time for Kramaski in reality. Like there's gonna be a starter and
Yeah,
that's gonna be it. So I just don't see this as being horrible for the club, horrible for the kid. But again, it's only 2 to 3 months. And as you said, with this kind of injury, you can train somewhat through it. You can stay in shape. So I just don't want to see like the sky is falling on this one. Again, said again a few times, but I also don't want to jinx it right now.
yeah, yeah. So we'll see what happens with that. I mean, and when we kind of found out about this was when the team announced their travel roster for the Saudi trip and the Japan leg coming up next. And so it was Ash, we hope so. I think that would be a major move in the right direction if we bring in
It's still
Christian
it's still
Medina.
it's still a rumor at this point,
But
but
the
it's big rumors.
yeah, the rumors have kind of quieted down a little bit. I haven't seen as much traction online as I did, um, 3 weeks ago or whatever when we were pretty hopeful that it was going to get done. I think there's still a possibility it happens, but we'll see. There's a lot of things in the air right now with the injury to Farias now this with Benja, so we'll see. But yeah, so travel squad was announced. A lot of really great. I thought a lot of really great additions to the squad. I loved seeing a lot of the young guys getting call ups. I was a little surprised in the first couple games we didn't get to see our new homegrowns, Izzy and Tyler Hall and guys like that on the roster, but we did get to see Tyler Hall added. Um, the center back we've covered pretty heavily. Nicholas Freire, he was added to the squad, and there were actually pictures of him training in Saudi Arabia, which was really cool. And we added super draft pick Yannick Bright, who I think played CDM in college, but kind of projects more as a right back or a left back in MLS. So it'll be interesting to see him develop. And then Schneider Borgelin added to the squad, as well as the glass man himself, Robbie Robinson.
So I'm excited for a few of these picks, right? Like Yannick Bright, all of a sudden we got a kid who's playing college ball 90 days ago, 4 months ago, is now on an Airbus, and I want to talk about this Airbus in a second, but is on an Airbus with Messi to Saudi Arabia. So I think that's hugely exciting for him. I want to see how he plays. Obviously we haven't seen it yet. I love my boy Robbie Robinson making the trip. I know he did have that hamstring injury, so I'm hoping we get to see him some playing time. Uh, I think the other piece is who didn't make it. Stefanelli, we've heard he's going to go on loan. He's didn't make it, and then obviously Kromowski
Stefanelli's, I heard that was a permanent transfer. I did not hear a loan.
transfer. Yeah, but either way, I don't think it's been. I don't think they've done as far as I can remember, and it's been a long weekend. But as far as I can remember, that we haven't seen the "thank you for your time" yet.
No, that
Post.
hasn't
So
come yet, but And for those of you who may not know, he's pretty heavily linked to Everton in Chile. So that move is most likely going to happen. And then obviously Kromoski taken off the roster as well.
By the way, for those watching live, if you're paying attention to us over the American Football NFC Championship, just going to give you a quick update. San Francisco has scored a field goal, so they've now taken the lead. So we're trying to take, trying to take care of everyone who's watching, taking time to watch us live. We're watching the NFL game on the background for you, just in case.
Yeah, Mike is watching the NFL on the background. I could care less.
Hey, I just care about. Well, frankly, I care about San Francisco winning because they have better food than Detroit. But that's just my reasoning here.
Well, there you go. But yeah, it's pretty cool to see the training pictures from Saudi Arabia the team's been posting. It's just neat to see the guys working up. I loved seeing oh, there you go with spoilers. But I love seeing like there was a picture of Ryan Saylor like training with, doing some strength training, which was pretty cool because we all know we all love Ryan Saylor on the show. But
I've loved the pictures coming from this trip because they've shown so much stuff in the background. I guess cool. it was your boy Suarez's birthday, so they showed him on the plane. By the way, I just have to take 2 seconds. That was a nice plane they went on. They usually take those Allegiant Air charters domestically. That was a custom Airbus A340. Like I was trying to Google, like, what does this cost? I found one place that said a trip, like a standard ticket on a plane like this, is like a $75,000 ticket. I'm sure, obviously, that's not what they're paying, but this was a nice plane. The Saudi Arabia trip clearly is paying well.
I am going to guess that Inter Miami did not pay for that plane.
I'm guessing it's a private Saudi plane. Yeah,
of Saudi Arabia paid for that plane. So
they had the pictures up today where they had down the hallway. They're coming out. It's all done in Inter Miami pink. This does seem like it's a very class event. It's funny because you look at them to go down to a CONCACAF squad for El Salvador, and a week later being treated to Saudi Arabia. So it's an interesting
El Salvador. There it is again. Mike shitting all over you. This guy. Every time.
As cool. Hold on, let me get both for this. This is a good comment. It's not as cool as the Iron Maiden plane. That's true. But I don't think if I was the passenger, I'd rather be on the custom A340.
Yeah. I mean, it's true. They could have wrapped it in like Inter Miami. That would have been pretty cool, but here we are.
It was pretty awesome. I just saw that and I'm like, man, I'm trying to figure out what kind of plane it is because again, they do not travel domestically. Although even with Messi, it was not impressive travel, and now all of a sudden, Saudi Arabia hooked them up. So it does look like the event they're going to is definitely going to be a world-class affair. I've loved the pictures. I know Noah Allen on his Instagram was posting some great pictures today. Gressel, as someone just commented, posted some great pictures. It's interesting. So I'm happy for the boys. I think a lot of us have been worried about it's a very tough packed preseason, but it looks like it's a fun event, and I'm sure they're enjoying this. Is because frankly, it is for the majority of these players. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity.
I would probably guess anybody except for Messi. This is probably a once in a lifetime thing. Even him, I don't think he's played in Saudi Arabia before. So
for Messi, it's a Monday, but for the rest of the team, it's a once in a lifetime opportunity.
I don't know about that, but sure. Whatever you say, Mike. But yeah, so let's get into it because we got 2 games coming up this week. First of which is tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern. So if you all are working like I know Mike and I are, why don't you guys try and you're gonna have to try and hide that phone and watch it live, because this is middle of the day type of thing. So it feels almost like Champions League or something, getting to see it in the middle of the day. But first game is against Al Hilal. One of the stronger Saudi sides. Obviously Al Nassr, who we'll get into next, is definitely the stronger of the 2 opponents when you're looking at their roster overall. But some really, really class players we're going to be going up against. Ruben Neves, Mitrovic, and Koulibaly. are just three of the guys that we're going to see. Potentially, I think Koulibaly is still with Senegal because they're still in AFCON. But it should be a really interesting game. I have not watched any Saudi teams play very much. So it'll be very interesting to see how we match up against them. But on paper, I think this is the game that I would expect to be, I don't want to say winnable, but probably pretty close to that.
I had a
I think we
dream
have the
last
best
night.
chance in this one.
I had a dream last night we win this match 1-0. I don't know that's going to come true, but in my dream, we did win this 1-0 with a Messi goal. So
Well, it's
I don't know what that
possible. That
means.
would be good. It would be good. And it's unfortunate. I would guess. I don't know. He might be there. Neymar. This is Neymar's team. But as everybody knows, he's out for the year, injured. I don't know if he'll be in attendance. Because him, Suarez, Busquets, Messi, they're all pretty close. So it'd be interesting to see if we do see him make an appearance. But we'll see.
So I think this is interesting. Kind of getting into Mike V's comment. I mean, Mike V just said all for enjoying, but what about getting actual preseason? Listen, I think getting playing time in an actual match at full speed is the best practice you can get. I think this is a facility that looks to me, at least based on my eye, first-rate facility, first-rate turf. I'd rather, I want them to get this experience, but at the same time doing so in probably the safer way possible. So I think that's kind of covered with this type of match. I think we said this in the last episode. I don't think the opponents are taking this game too seriously. It is a friendly. It's an MLS squad. The Saudi League clearly thinks it's better than MLS. And frankly, when you compare the rosters, you can't really argue that. So I think this is
when you compare the rosters to like just the top couple teams, because it's only the teams that have really been taken over by the Saudi PIF that are top class. The
but
rest of the
that's
league
all
is
that matters.
not.
That's the Saudi league, right? That's their top class league. And frankly, it's the same as like Ligue 1. Ligue 1 has 3 or 4 teams that you actually know the names of, maybe not even that many, but that's what makes their league. This is a good team on paper. I just think they think they're better than us. And frankly, like I said, they are. So I don't see them coming in here in a dangerous perspective. That makes us dangerous, obviously. Like that's how you sneak up. And this is the winnable game, right? The second game, especially if Ronaldo plays, which doesn't sound like he will, but if he does, the second game is not as winnable. But this is the more winnable of the two. So I think there's a good chance. I do think this is a good experiment for our players. And again, going back to what we said last week, we want Suarez and Messi to finally get on the same page. It needs to happen this week or next week.
Well, and you said for them to get on the same page. I think Messi and Suarez are on the same page. I think they're just a hair off.
Well, that's what I mean.
Seen.
Like we got to
get
on
the same page, though.
You got to get off the hair, right? Like you got to get to the point where the ball is leaving Messi's foot and it's finding Suarez's foot. Like that's what I mean by same page. They think the same. I mean, that's what comes from years of playing together, but their timing isn't there yet. And so this is a game where you can start seeing that. And it frankly could be a lot of fun. Like these next 2 games could be a lot of fun to watch. I will definitely, I mean, my boss subscribes to this show, so I probably shouldn't say this, but I will definitely be watching this game because I think it's going to be an enjoyable match to watch.
Yeah, I will probably be watching a replay, only because it's Monday and Mondays are when everybody wants to meet. So
we'll get into a little bit later, but this is an especially bad Monday for Inter Miami fans because it's going to be real tough to go to work. But we'll cover the second reason why, besides the 1 p.m. game, in a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So the next up is our next game against Al Nassr, which I could put the whole roster up there, but I didn't because really the only reason this game was scheduled is for one reason, and it's Messi versus Ronaldo. I don't from what I've been hearing, probably not going to get the rematch that we want. But there are some other good players on Al Nassr. They're probably the most stacked team in the Saudi league. They've got Sadio Mane, Laporta, David Ospina in goal, and Alex Telles as well. I think they're a very good team on paper. The results on the field haven't been there. I know there's a lot of criticism last year because even with Ronaldo, they were unable to win the league. But I think this is the tougher task is to come out against them and try and win this game. Um, it'll be a tough one. But I do think just like in the last game, like I would expect us to be very competitive against Al Hilal, but Al Nasser, I'm thinking we remain competitive. I don't think they blow us out, but I think we can hold our own against them.
So as I'm sitting here listening, I don't see how we don't see Ronaldo. Like I am thinking there is someone walking up to Ronaldo's house door right now with a bag full of cash saying, "You will play." Like this is what we pay. This is the reason we sent that A340 to America was we want to see the last dance, hence the name of this week's show between Messi and Ronaldo. So I do think we'll see it. Like that's pretty Ronaldo's at a point in his career where he's not really playing for trophies anymore. It's just reality. And this is what everyone paid to watch. Like if he gets injured, let's just say this is his last game ever. I don't think that's the end of anyone's world. So maybe Joe Kurz. I know he'll always be a Ronaldo fan, but like I think we'll see him play. I agree with everything else he said though. Like this is the harder of the two matches. I'm going to put you under the gun first. What are your two scores? And we were way off, by the way, last time we did this, but what are the two scores you're thinking in your head? And then I want to
Um,
go back to last week's question of scoring goals. But let's start with what are you thinking on
mm,
the scores?
Al Hilal, I think we probably I'd say 2-1 us. And Al Nasser, I'll say 2-1 them. I don't think either one's going to be like a high scoring affair, but I think in each game both teams score and I think they stay competitive. What are your predictions?
So I think the first game, I think it's like 1-3 them. I'm not going to be very positive coming into these games. I think we're going to lose. I think we'll see our first goal of this team in the first game. I think it'll be a Messi goal or a Suarez goal, one of the two of them. One of the big four is going to step up. I do think the first game is ahead. It's the most winnable game, but I don't think we're going to win. Depending on who's playing in the second game, I could see it getting ugly. Uh, you know, Ronaldo has a point to prove somewhat. I don't know how much him and Messi really care about the GOAT debate. Like maybe they do, maybe they don't. But there is a secondary thing of Messi spurned Saudi, Messi and Ronaldo. I could see this being their premier club. They just try to lay into us. And when you look at how we're set up to play, which is our goal is to score more goals than their team, doesn't matter how many they score on us. I just don't. I just see us being very leaky in the second game. Now, a couple things I want to throw out. I think we see Frere in the first game. I said this last week. I still very much think it. I think he will play some minutes. I don't know if he starts the first game, but he will be getting game minutes. I think he starts the second game. And I think the second game, we start to see what our final team is going to look like. I think we'll stop the experimentation as much. And this will be Tata's first attempt at what the team looks like. Again, we may get beat up in this game, but I'm okay with that if we start looking at. And the second thing is, might be on third now, we better score goals. Like, I don't care how good this team is. This is the game we got to start scoring goals. We cannot get blanked in the next two games. Like, if we get blanked the next two games, something's seriously wrong with this team and the formations and something because at some point you can't go 4 games and not score a single goal. And yeah, I'm reopening this debate because you just can't. I'm not saying we have to win, but we got to score a goal, maybe more.
Uh, I agree that we should score at least one goal in this trip, but um, you know, you You just want Tata to go back to the drawing board. That's what it is.
I don't listen. Me wanting him to go back to drawing board doesn't help me, right? I'm a huge Inter Miami fan. I want this
I
to
am
work.
a big I have a theory. I think you have stock in Expo, the markers, the dry erase markers, and I think you just want Tata to burn through them.
So that's your best take of the night, because I should buy some stock, maybe in Staples too, where I buy them all from.
Yeah.
But you can't not score in these two games and be okay with this. Like, we have to score. I'm still frustrated we haven't scored yet.
Preseason, Mike.
I don't
It's
care. You know that. I don't care.
preseason.
We have El Salvador, as you said, the Tampa Bay Rowdies are better than El Salvador. That was your words, I think, not mine. And we didn't score. Then we went to Dallas.
It was reversed.
Oh, those might have been my words.
I said El Salvador was better than the Rowdies.
But that's actually not true. Dallas.
It actually is.
Dallas, again, we didn't score on. So I need to see a ball in the back of the net. I know you're already on the fire Tata train, which is funny because I'm not. But let me tell you, I'm jumping on that train.
To be fair, though, and for
scored.
those people who don't know me, I've been on that train since he was appointed. I don't care for Tata. I don't get the hype. I know why you have to have a manager like him to you need somebody with that clout to like motivate Messi, but I think there are a lot better coaches in MLS alone that we could have gone out and gotten. And so that's why Mike says I've been on the fire Tata train. Like, I'm not going out there every week and saying, "Oh yeah, he needs to go," but I'm not a fan. And if he wins everything and proves me wrong, that's great. It's not something where I won't support the team, but yeah.
I got to call it Joe here. He clearly, him and I are thinking the same. A lot of eyes. Joe said a lot of eyes in this game. We need some highlights. We do. And those highlights need to be us scoring goals, not pretty passes and missed opportunities. I also want to call out Mike V again. So Mike V's predictions: 1-0 Miami loses to Al Hilal. Al Nassr wins 4-2. So I think that's a little bold. I think you said earlier one of us is going to be Miss Cleo, so we're going to see how that one goes, but appreciate the predictions. Ash has a great comment here. Two great goalkeeper performances in the first two games, and I have to completely agree. Dos Santos played fantastic. Here he starts with the first team and has a shutout, and then Drake's played great in the second game. The first goal just got by him. I think it was a down to his right. He just kind of didn't get there. But another, one. Anytime a team loses, like only has one goal scored against them, I'm a big believer that was a winnable game. The problem is if you score no goals, it's hard to win, even if it's preseason.
Yeah. So Tata, get back to the drawing board. Mike is ready to go in full panic mode. If we don't score by 1:05 tomorrow.
No, I'm giving you 2 games. But if by, I think 1 o'clock, would that be 3 o'clock on Thursday, we've gone 4 games and are sitting on a goose egg, that show, whether we do a Thursday night or Friday, I will be in full panic mode and saying, what the hell? As you have to.
I hope we don't score, because I want everybody to see what I see behind the scenes. What's happening. Mike is very calm here. This is not the real Mike.
My personal M. Longan Twitter is a reflection. I'll put my Twitter handle back up there. It is a reflection of me, and it'll start looking very panicky. And because we've got to score, we're paying 50 million plus friends to score goals, not for great defense. And so I want to see a goal. When we show up there on February 21st, I would like to know there's some goals in the bank. The bank accounts of a couple of these players have opened up in preseason, so they're ready for
preseason goals. Don't count in stats, Mike.
I don't care if they don't count. At least
just so you know.
I know they don't, but I want to see that they have like the pseudo account, like the junior.
That's like opening a bank account with Monopoly money.
Fine,
doesn't count. Doesn't matter.
It still matters. Listen, you come over, play Monopoly at my house, and you're gonna see how much Monopoly money matters in my house. Lives are lost and suspects in my house when we play Monopoly.
Well, yeah, something to look forward to there. Preseason Monopoly at the Longan household.
You had said it last show. If we don't score in these next 2 games, even you would have concerns. We have recording, and I think you made a short of it.
Yeah. No, I said I think we should score 2 goals in these next 2
Fine.
games.
So then let's have this again.
But
If
I
we get
also said
blanked,
it's
if we get
preseason.
if we get blanked in the next 2 games, are you concerned? And by the way, if you're
There's a
listening, we got a couple
lot of
people
things
listening.
that go into that.
If tell me if you're concerned in the comments. If you're concerned if we don't score the next 2 games, let's get a little like live action kind of comment poll as to what's going on. So Branson, while we give our listeners a little second, are you not concerned if we don't score in the next 2 games?
I think concern starts to creep in, but I don't think you need to go into full panic mode. And I think there's a lot that goes into it too. Like we have to see what the lineups are that are played, because you seem to think Tata's going to run out like a very close to full squad for at least the Al Nasser game, and I kind of don't think that. I think he's still going to just kind of be rotating guys in. We're not going to see a full strength squad going for very long together. We might see them for, I don't know, 45 minutes, 60 minutes maybe, but it takes time. And so it depends. Like there's more than scoring that concerns me, right? Like if we're getting in scoring positions against Al Nasser, and let's just say Suarez is nailing the woodwork and he hits like 4 right off the crossbar. At that point, am I saying like, oh, it's a panic? Like, oh no. I'm saying he's a hair off. It's preseason. Why do we have to keep bringing up Jurgen Klopp, man?
I didn't even bring him up this time. One of our viewers
No, but
brought
you
up.
put the comment up there.
So Joker again. Branson is just mostly known from the Klopp news. I get your point
I'm
that
not.
if Suarez is hitting the woodwork, maybe you shouldn't be
Yeah.
nervous. But look at what Suarez did in the Brazil League last year. He wasn't hitting the woodwork. So again, I think you have to be concerned if we're not scoring. Jeffrey
what I'm
Poole, 0
saying
goals.
is-
Hold on. Let me post Jeffrey. We haven't shown him yet.
because
0 goals in 4 games. Yeah, I'd be concerned. That's what I'm saying. You're going to be
But
concerned
what
if
I'm
we haven't
saying
scored.
is you can't say 0 goals in 4 games and now I'm going to hit the panic button or I'm going to be concerned, because what if you start seeing momentum building and you start seeing us getting in better attacking positions? Because to be frank, the first 2 games we were not in very many high chance places. So we need to have our players, like if we're creating quality chances, then I'm okay with
Listen,
potentially not scoring.
There was a game. I forget who was in it. Like 2 months ago, they had like 45 shots, 20 on goal, and they
Yeah.
only scored 2 goals. If that happens, I'm fine with it, right? Like I can go,
Right.
okay, that's bad luck. But that's such an outlier moment, like for that to happen. Reality is going to be. I'm trying to think this. We want give me shots. Give me enough shots
Yeah.
that I'm not stressful. That I'm not stressed out. Like we haven't
And,
seen
and
that
it
yet.
needs
We're
to be
not
high
seeing the
quality shots. Like you have to be working the keeper. Like if one of the keepers goes off and has like the game of his life, like, and we don't score, I'm not going to freak out. Like there's a lot of factors that go into it than just saying like, oh, the score line is going to make me nervous.
In normal circumstances where a keeper doesn't have the game of his life and we don't put 41 shots up and only, score 2, that's where you get nervous. So I think you're overqualifying this. The other piece I want to say real quick is when we're putting out lineups right now, Tata is absolutely experimenting, but 8 of those players are starters. 9 of those players are starters. So it's not like we don't have our real starters on the pitch for the first 60 minutes. It's not like, okay, we're just running out 11 new guys. The big 4 are playing together. The expected back 5, kind of before Freire came in, we're playing together. Now we got with Freire, give him a game or 2. We are going to see the expected back 5 play. So the midfield and the left wing are kind of the open question marks right now.
Yeah, but so I don't think we know what the back 5 is going to look like.
I think
You're very confident that I think Alba and Freire are the only 2 locks. I don't think we know who the other center backs are going to be.
Toto is absolutely a lock. Absolutely.
We'll see. But I don't
want to say that out loud, but I would place that, but we can cut another short of this. Toto will be our starting center back Frere's our starting center back. I'll give you.
He should be. He
I
should
don't.
absolutely be. But I also don't think we know what we're doing on right back.
That's fair. Gressel is the intended right back. With Kamaski going down, maybe you're making an argument, but I will tell you that
Gressel needs to be the right back.
he does. Like, though, come on, let me take a step back and actually breathe. Yedlin looked good as a right wing back against Dallas. Like, he was making those runs.
Yeah.
He was making very effective runs in there. My problem is Gressel did not look good as a midfielder.
Right. And I think we have enough options in the midfield, even with Kremoski going down, that I don't think we need to panic there.
So Mike V put up Alba, Freire, Toto, Yedlin, Gressel. I still think it's Alba. What's my boy's name? I can't think of my boy's name.
Allen.
Right Alba, Allen, Toto, Freire, and Gressel with Toto on the left center, right center back.
Yeah, I think you have Freire in the middle.
Yeah, I have Freire anchoring and Yedlin as a backup. But Mike, I'm in the same kind of page with you, right? Like that's roughly. It's a question of is Allen starting or Yedlin? I just don't think Yedlin is a very good center back. He wants to be a wing at this point in his career. He wants to be much more attacking. He doesn't want to stay home, especially in a 3-5-2 where you have to stay home. He just doesn't do it. Allen will definitely not start. Are you saying forever or like first game? Because I can promise you sometime throughout this season, Allen will be a starting center back the way that Tata wants to run this defense or this fill the lineup.
I don't know. I think if Allen's starting at center back, I think it's probably more because we lack depth at center back than it is that's where he's best. Because I don't think he's best as a center back. I think he does a good job.
I agree, but
I wouldn't pencil him in as a starter.
So agree with Joe Kerr here. Tata really seems to like Allen. I agree with that statement. The second one is
there's a lot to like about Allen. I'm not saying that there's not. I think he's better as a back.
I agreed, but I think the point I want to make is I don't think we have three starting center backs. Right. We have Freire, we have Toto. The third if Tata wants to run this 3-5-2 or 3-2-5-2 or whatever we are running, not 3-2-5-2-3. Well, you know what I mean. You need a third mission capable center back, and we just don't have it. And I think if you look at who we have and look at the biases we think we're seeing, which I don't think he likes McVay. I don't think he likes Sailor. I don't think he thinks Sergey is fast enough. We did see him start, but I just don't think he thinks so. The guy who kind of sticks in there is Allen or Yedlin. Today.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens in this trip. I think Sailor would be a better option than Allen at center back. I still think McVay can contribute very well as a center back. I don't know why Tata doesn't rate him.
And so that's the interesting thing, right? I actually agree with these statements, right? Like McVay, who played left back for an entire season, isn't our starting
every game.
In every game, he was Mr. Ironman, is not our go-to starting left center back. That doesn't compute. Like there's either a Tata McVay issue or McVay's not in form. And apparently wasn't all last season because remember, Noah Allen started a left center back in multiple games last season. So there's an issue there that I mean, this isn't like Barcelona where every issue makes the front page. Like our Michelle Kaufman does a great job, but I don't know if she gets all that details. But I think there's an issue with Tata and McVay and Tata and Sailor.
Yeah, I mean it's highly possible. I just if that's the case, that's just another reason why I think I'm not a Tata fan. Like, how do you have McVay there and you're just like, nope, I'm not going to use him. I don't like him.
Remember, just throwing this out there, it's not just Tata's team. You know, you've got Messi, you've got Suarez, you've got Busquets and Alba. All of them, I am sure, have an impact on our starting lineup. And I think you can say, I think like you're going to say, like as a coach, you shouldn't be just listening to your star players, but there is a reality to this team that Messi is making a lot of decisions that affect
this is what I have a problem with then, because you brought Tata in and you brought They brought him in because he was the guy who could tell Messi, like, hey, this is what's going to happen. Like, I managed him before. We can do this, and I'll do this. And that's why you brought him in, because he has the clout. If he doesn't have the clout, then get him out of here. Get somebody else that'll just do what Messi wants, or somebody who's better tactically.
And that's the question of who. So like
Yeah.
let's not, again, I know you want to throw Tots out yet. Xavi is next head coach. I don't want to say that can't happen because at this point, who knows?
Who?
Like, oh, I gotta show it.
Might as well. We're
next head coach.
bringing
Right, like
we're bringing all the Barca has-beens. Might as well bring him too.
Like, I wanted to immediately discount that, and then I kind of had a moment going, why not? I mean, we've got I think his name is Xavi in our back office, that he was one of the guys instrumental that bringing the Barcelona game to Drive Pink. There's a lot of connections.
Yeah, but
there,
he's on the finance side and the
no,
marketing.
but there's
Like,
connections. Not just Messi. Like, everyone thinks Messi is the big connection, but there's other connections between the two clubs. That's a really speculative statement to even think that could happen. But a couple years ago, a lot of us didn't believe Messi was coming, and look who we're discussing.
Yeah, we could be talking about Ben Sweat, and
don't do that. Don't go to Ben Sweat. You really want to?
I was going to say somebody else, but
no. Ben Sweat was my least favorite player.
Did not appreciate that.
So,
moving on to our next topic, the kit news. So we've got a couple kit pictures here for you. The first one on the right is the actual Inter Miami, New Jersey.
Let's see if I can make this work.
There's the big reveal.
I've got the new kit for LC. I've got my Suarez kit.
Very nice.
Rocking it. Bought it the day it got announced.
And there's the picture he took of it.
Yeah, there's the picture I took. Went to the team store the day it was announced, picked one up. Definitely interesting to go to the stadium on a random weekday, and there's like 50 or 60 people in this parking lot because they're all trying to get a picture of Messi. And now that we know, I don't know if everyone saw that video on YouTube and TikTok and Instagram of Messi signing a jersey.
Oh yeah,
in his car. So apparently, just showing up at the stadium might not be the worst idea ever. But yeah, Rocket. I think it looks so much better. It's so much better than the next BTO. It is just La Noche. Yeah. All we do is change the front thing. I like this kit so much more now.
Our Joker went ahead and he fixed it for us. He fixed the kit for Mike.
So everyone should know, Caribbean. I am a giant
with the Disney Cruise
fan.
logo.
I was on the Disney Cruise last weekend. I love the Disney Cruise kit logo. Like, Joker made this. Huge shout out to Joker. He sent me this, and I'm like, how do I make this kit? I actually debated trying to buy a blank kit and having someone put this on it just so I could walk around with it because it cracked me up. There's only one Mickey Mouse Club. Suck ass. So keep on forgetting I got to show this when I start talking them out loud. But there is only one Mickey Mouse Club, and they play in Inter Coast Stadium, so it's only fair that we put Mickey Mouse on our jersey at some point. So getting on off the kit for a second, I will say, hold on, I am rocking the pink jacket, so everyone can see it. I love this jacket. It is, again, not a jacket in my opinion because it cannot be worn outside in the beginning inclement weather.
The definition of a jacket is just that it has a full zip.
I don't know where you came up with that definition. Fine, that's fine.
That's
I like this jacket. So it's got the pocket up here. You can easily put, where's my cell phone? I can put my cell phone right into it. Fits nicely. I think going back to the other Adidas logo is stupid. I loved the new Adidas logo. It was just the 3 lines without Adidas. I don't like that we went back to it. The pockets down low also have zippers. So for a cool weather night, so we're going to hit in the 40s Tuesday here in Miami. This is a perfect jacket to wear out. Like, I really like this jacket. Super excited with it. Now, we're going to try one more thing. I got the new team shorts. So I told our friends at Battered Herons, I will show this off. And quite frankly, I told them I shaved my legs for this. So we're going to attempt it. I'm not a fan of these shorts, but let's see if we can get it down low enough.
He absolutely is, Mike V.
Not a fan of these shorts mostly because they don't have zippers on the pockets. Last year's shorts had pocket zippers that were so much better. They were great to travel with. These ones are just kind of comfy cotton shorts. For the money, not a big fan of it. So we are getting into fashion accessorizing here at the Inter Miami Show, and I'm totally jumping on it. But
Ooh,
I want to see Kat. Like,
give the people what they want, Mike. Ooh, there it is.
Showing the tattoo.
Love
so,
it.
Steve, for you, show the calves. Well, why does that look so bad? There we go. Sorry. Not professional. I'm changing all this. I want to throw something out there. So right now, there's about 10 people that have been watching the show on and off. I don't know how many people will listen to this before 10 a.m. tomorrow morning, but we've been hearing rumors the new kit will be out tomorrow. I have no confirmation of this. No one from the club has told us this, but it's been something that's been rumored. So I'm saying this. I'm going to be at the Stadium Store at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. I'm going to be there with Inter Miami Show stickers and a few Greenlaw gang stickers as well. If you bump into me, hopefully, first in line to get myself a new kit. Hopefully not that I'm just sitting there for no reason and I explain to my boss why I showed up late. So it's a rumor. I cannot say enough how it's just been a rumor. We got told this by somebody who heard it from somebody else, but I will be at the Stadium Store tomorrow at 10. I've heard there's a few people that I know that might also be doing the same thing. So sticking it out there for the people who watch the show. Thank you for watching, especially to let's call it out by the way. San Francisco won 34-31. So I got my winning NFC team. But yeah, that is a rumor that I am broadcasting out there, and hopefully does not get me in trouble with anybody else.
Yeah. So I think that makes a ton of sense, honestly. I think we probably see the pink kit used if they're going to unveil it this week and put it out for sale. I think we probably see it used in the Saudi Arabia games. The yellow versus pink matchup for the Al Nassr game would be pretty cool. And the yellow versus, I believe it's blue for Al Hilal. So would be a cool matchup as well. So
if you think about the international views, especially for the game later in the week, I this is the time to show off this kit. What's really interesting to me, and now we're getting to again speculation. There was a major leak. EAFC 24 leaked, I think, 18 team kits accidentally this week. Inter Miami wasn't part of them, and so it's kind of where I go. Like, I'm gonna be at the Stadium Store tomorrow, but I'm not really sure it's happening because I feel like if if our kit was going to be released Monday, it would have been in that leak. It would have showed up. So I just kind of think it's funny. It's kind of interesting, but I agree with you. If you're going to play this, if you're going to wear a kit in any match, that's the one to wear it in.
Yeah. I mean, the EA thing was weird. The jerseys, I don't know, on the cards, you basically know what it looks like, but, we'll see. I don't know. I thought it was kind of odd.
Well, as someone in the software industry, like these kind of leaks can happen, and those.
I thought it was odd that those were the teams that got leaked.
Yeah,
I
that
thought
was
if
odd.
it was like an intentional hack or something, I'm like, where was our kit?
And that's where I kind of think the whole thing is odd. Mike V
an intern screwed up is what it seems like.
Yeah, Mike V saying EA leak was staged. That actually makes sense, right? Like they didn't show the one kit everyone wants to see because they were holding off on that. I also would have expected us to announce a new kit and then it goes on sale a couple days later. So that's what I'm saying. Like I've been told a couple times tomorrow's the day, but I don't know if I believe it. But I'm also gonna take a shot at it because I like to be first to get the kit. For us, our viewers, if it is come out, like you'll see it at 10:02 tomorrow because I'll put every picture I can on Twitter and we will unwrap, not unbox. We will unwrap the jersey on a video for our Instagram and YouTube feeds.
Or you could just put it in a box.
Ooh.
And then we could call it unboxing.
I'm going to bring a box with me.
Your old season ticket holder box. I know you still have it.
I don't, but my son TJ does. That would be hilarious. That's pretty fun.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Content created right before your eyes live.
So it's pink. So our friend Steve saying new kit's name El Salmon. It's pink. It's not salmon. I'm colorblind, and I'm not gonna say I've seen it, but maybe I've seen side part of it. It's definitely pink. It's not this pink. It's
Yeah.
a little different
I don't
pink.
know what they're gonna name it though. That's a good question.
El Vertico. What's vertical in Spanish? El Vertico.
Hmm.
Post a
Yeah,
picture.
that would be a letdown.
Mike V, post a picture if you get the kit. Add one of your calves. Okay. So this is my start of my OnlyFans career. Actually, no, my Feet Finder career, except it's to be Calf Finder. I'm in.
There you
Start
go.
sending donations. I could use the money. El Vertical.
Yeah.
Okay. I my bad Spanish is great. El Vertical it is. All right. So that's what I think it's been called, El Vertical.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be called El Trash. Because it's a horrible jersey. Absolutely horrible.
I've said it before. I've said it, and I've never seen the kit beyond all the mock-ups and leaks. I think it's going to look awesome. I will say it's going to inspire me to lose weight because I feel with a vertical kit, you don't want it to come out when like one logo is way in front of another logo. Like you want a straight shot. So, oh, Patrick, man, Mike V's got the jokes tonight. New kid equal L Patrick from SpongeBob. But yeah, I'm excited for this kit. I think it's going to look really good, and I can't wait to get it. Hopefully by tomorrow, by about 10 in the morning, I will have a copy of this kit.
Yeah, that would be cool. You will not see me at the team store lining up to buy that thing. I will probably just, I don't know. Who knows when I'll get it? Just want to go get my Suarez kit. El Noche.
Maybe I'll do something for you as a present. I'll pick one up for you. I
don't want you
I
to
can't
waste
miss.
money.
I can't miss this much
I
work
don't
tomorrow.
think I'll wear it.
So this is my problem: is I really can't miss a ton of work, and we have the game on at 1. I am planning basically to drive before work to get to the stadium, and just work from the parking lot for a while, and then cross my fingers that this all works out.
Oh, speaking of parking lots and exciting things, no, we're not going to have Mike count parking spaces again. But we do have, courtesy Alex Winley, we have some awesome photos of MFP and the progress that's being done there. She was kind enough to let us share these, and her handle is there. If you're not following Alex already, I don't know what you're doing listening to us. She's one of the OGs. She's absolutely fantastic, just like Michelle and just like everybody in the community. So definitely give her a follow. But yeah, we're seeing a lot of progress there, and what looks like to be an outline of where MFP is actually going to be.
Yeah, I'm excited for this. And again, first off, Alex is the OG. Really appreciate her letting us. She posted these on Twitter, and she let us post them on the show. It's the start of a stadium, right? Like we haven't really had the MFP conversation on the show. I am not looking forward to going to Miami. I am based in West Broward. The commute, funny enough, like distance wise, is almost the same between the two stadiums, but I can't imagine driving to Miami on a weekday. Like that is going to be hell on earth. But this is a new stadium, and I am still excited that we're going to get a new stadium. Like I've been to 3 or 4 MLS stadiums now. I want that real stadium feel. I want to have somewhat of a roof over all of our heads. I'm like, I don't want to be excited for this, but I am. And to see this traced out made it feel really real. And I think it's just great. We have the progress. Now the question becomes, how long does it take to go from this to a functioning stadium with parking lots? You don't need anything else in MFP, but you need a functioning stadium with parking lots, or at least well maintained grass to park on, without gopher holes to trip in. So it doesn't feel like this is happening in under a calendar year. It actually feels like we're probably still 2 years out. But that's, again, speculation. I know nothing about building stadiums, so maybe it goes a lot faster.
Yeah, I too don't. I have no clue. I don't know how long it takes to build a stadium. I'm just excited to see progress happening. And this is pretty quick after they went ahead and actually started the decontamination and stuff like that. So this is exciting to see. Mike is West Broward. I'm Northeast Broward. So not going to be great commute wise, but I plan on taking the train. Um, and seeing how that experience is, and I'll find Mike in a parking lot somewhere because I don't think there's gonna be a lot of parking there.
Now, so this is the problem with Broward. The train is out east. Like I could theoretically drive all the way down 595 to get to a Brightline station and
Mm.
take twice as long to commute, but it'd be at least more relaxing. Steve did point out though, like, sorry guys, this will help me out. 20-minute drive for me. There's a lot of belief that if we build this stadium and post Messi, when it's just the Inter Miami fans left, we will need this to keep the stands filled. That it'll feel better in Miami than it will in Broward. I don't believe that because I think when you move to Miami, you do pull in some more of those South Miami people, but you lose all of West Palm Beach, all of North Broward. And so I do think long term,
I
this
think
is
you
I
don't
don't
lose all in North Broward.
I think you lose a lot of North
That's a
Broward.
terrible take. No,
No,
you
I
don't.
think you do. When it becomes an hour
You
and a
don't.
half commute on a
You
weekday,
don't.
I think you lose a lot.
Maybe on a weekday, but that's about it.
People are
Like they're still coming down on a Saturday.
I don't know. I think it's going to really hurt the team. I really do. I do believe this was the wrong location. I know we went through like 10. And it's funny. I was talking to Brant. I don't know if I was talking to you or some other people. I was so excited to get that stadium in the cruise port. And now I think about like how horrible the commute would have been if we had that.
Yeah.
Dolphin Stadium is still the best location for sports in South Florida. And I really had hoped we would find a location in that proximity because I think that makes it easy for everyone.
Problem solved.
Might just
Joe
take the
at it
private
again.
plane.
Hell yeah.
So the problem is my private plane's a 787, and I have to park it at Miami International, so I can't like commute from Weston to Miami International. It doesn't work for me. So good idea, Joe, and I appreciate the thought, but my plane's just too big to do that. I wish I had one of those small little rinky-dink planes that could fly out like Keeper City or something, but it just doesn't work.
Yeah, I agree with Mike V. You're making it out to be a lot worse than it is. I think it'll be fine. I'm planning on going, and you can't get any more North Broward than me. And I plan on making the commute. I think, we know a ton of people who come up from Miami for games, so I don't know why people wouldn't do it the other way
But
around.
it's not about the people we know today. It's about I just shook my camera. Sorry about that. It's about all the people we don't know. Like, are they really going to come? And all I will remind everyone is the Marlins promised us if we build a stadium there, they will fill it every day. And they've never filled that stadium unless they're winning. And I'm, not to go too far down this, but like it shouldn't take a winning team to fill a stadium. The Dolphins show us that they can decently put fans in the stadium, even when they're mediocre. Like Miami's got the Inter Miami has to learn to do that.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think the Dolphins are really the only franchise here that has consistently for decades filled their stadium or come close to it. I could talk all day, Steve, about, and this, I could talk all day about the Marlins.
But hold on, like Steve's comment is the Marlins situation difference. They burned bridges for years. We all remember the season ticket holders for Inter Miami tried to stage a revolt earlier this year. Like the bridges are being burned, have been burned here as well. So it's closer than you want them. Now, Marlins did it for a lot longer. There's a lot more time of burning bridges.
You don't even know the situation with the Marlins. If you're talking about season ticket holders, it has nothing to do with fans. The bridges that the Marlins burned.
The fans are the ones we're talking about. They don't go to the games.
That's not who burned the bridges, man. That's not who burned the bridges. Inter Miami rose season ticket prices. The Miami Marlins have tickets. Yeah, thank you, Steve. That's absolutely correct.
By the way, I like that.
Absolutely correct.
Branton, this is your day to like just pick at every single I think the first 5 episodes of the show, you've been like picking at my little points, but today was you, right? We got the Marlins, we've got Klopp. Like we are going after you today. I have allies in our viewers, and they are helping me out.
I don't think they're helping you out. Steve's comment very clearly supports what I was just saying.
Yeah, but Joe's helping
You
me
you
more than
don't know,
Joe's helping
like
me.
don't
Mike
talk
V
about
is
what you
helping
don't
me.
know, man.
I love to talk. I have the Inter Miami show. I love talking about stuff I don't know. This is what I do.
Yeah. Well, the
I made a
Marlins
career of
really did a
this.
number on this city, and you know, unfortunately, we are where we are, and you can find me on a different podcast talking about that. And I'm sure we'll probably actually talk about it this week, so tune in. But it's exciting regardless to see a new stadium. Dry Pinks felt like home since we've been there, but I want to know what it's like to be in a fully soccer specific stadium, and we're taking our very first steps towards that, and it's exciting.
It is. I went to Nashville for the finals. Their stadium's beautiful. I was at LAFC Stadium last year. Gorgeous. Columbus Crew just built their new stadium. I went there in January of 2 years ago now. They're all gorgeous. And I think that is really exciting. I think the game day experience is going to change, but being like you're going to want to be in that stadium more. And I think it'll be
Yeah.
finally a stadium fit for what we're trying to build. So as much as I don't want, like I said, I'm kind of torn because I don't want to do this commute, but I am really, really excited. Real quick, as we're kind of normally we do fan questions, but now we have a live show. The fan questions like are here, but I've already realized it takes about 15 seconds to a minute to kind of get there. So for our viewers that are watching live right now, if you have any questions, like throw them at us and we'll start answering questions now. Then we can talk for a few more minutes to let the questions fill, and hopefully at least someone. Joker, just come up with any question, just so I feel like we get something question. But
It can be
uh,
about Mike's calves, what he does to work out, if he
I
waxes
just
or shaves. I mean,
so to
you
answer
know,
those questions, I just got back. So I used to be a fairly competitive triathlete. I hadn't ridden a bike in 2 years. I just got back on the bike yesterday, so my calves are going to start looking better. So I'm very excited. Also, I shave. I use a woman's Venus razor blade. I've been using it for years. I have found, by the way, all the shaving gels for your legs suck and just use soap. So now you all know a lot more about me than you thought you'd know. So congratulations. All right. So first
oh,
question we've got,
a
there we
good
go.
one.
Over under Campape total goals. Steve, have you listened to this show?
Oh,
Do you really want me going on about Campape? So
he
Branson, why don't you go
knows. He
first?
knows. I'm saying 10.
10
Yeah.
goals. How many do you have last year? 8? 9?
Mm, I don't remember.
I think the better question is, does Campape have more goals this season than he did last season? And I
Yes,
don't think he does.
I
I
think he
don't.
does.
I think you've got Suarez as the predominant starter. Suarez started like 50 games last year for his Brazilian team. I think he will be the entrenched starter. I just don't see Campape getting many chances. Honestly, Campape's best chance is if we can make some kind of run in U.S. Open Cup because he'll probably play those games, kind of like he did 3 years ago. So, yeah, no, I'm gonna say I'm gonna take the under, hands down on this one.
15's a high number. I love me some Kim Poppy. You know what? I believe in my boy. I'll say over because he's probably going to play in a lot of like if we're back in the Open Cup because we haven't heard anything about that since U.S. Soccer bitch slapped the hell out of MLS. We haven't heard it, but I would expect him to play in those games. Probably play in a lot of games when Suarez is resting because Suarez is a little bit older, and the travel in the U.S. League is going to be a lot different for him, especially coming from Brazil and Europe. So I'll go over.
All right, so I took the under, you took the over. So let's write that one down. Let's make sure we make a little clip of that. So next question: why is Branson hating on Tata and supporting Goaz? Have some effing respect, Branson. I believe this is for you.
Oh, surprise, surprise. Listen, I do not think that Tata, I just don't, nothing he has done since he's been here has impressed me. Um, he's just not, he's not a good tactician. I think he's using stale tactics that don't work in the league anymore. He very rarely put our players in position to be successful unless their name was Messi. So I have a lot of reasons why I'm not a Tata fan. I think this year he has to show he can put people in the right positions to win me over and to win, I think, a lot of fans over, because I know I'm not the only one who feels like this. Gomez, I think, needs time. I am not ready to give up on a young player and say that he's garbage and he needs to go. I'm not that person. I think you have to give your youth time to adjust. And I think when you're asking somebody to come from a foreign country, come to a foreign country that he's never played in before, in a league that's very different than the one he's coming from, for Tata and for to play with Messi and stuff, I think you have to give him time, and we'll see. We're ready to put Toto in as center back, but Toto was not good last year. He had glimpses, but so did Gomez, and so I think it's too early to write off a young player.
So I want to just real quick, as much as like teasing you about the Tata thing, and I know I'm kind of show this one, Mike V bring back Neville. I think he's not being serious. If you look at the statistics for MLS games only, so you remove the League's Cup run, Tata wasn't much better than Neville, like by a few decimals of a percentage point. So I think there's some real truth that Tata really has to prove, because remember, Tata, even if we say that Messi and Alba were out, Tata had 4 players that he brought in specifically in our 3 U22s and Busquets playing everything, and didn't do better than Neville. In the last 6 games, I think he went 2-2-2. His actual points per game was like, I think it was still under 1, or it was just over 1. Neville, I think, was like 0.9. So he's got something to prove still. I think the whole thing that he has some improving with better players. So I think there's a lot of truth that like Tata has to prove himself. This is also where Francis, you want to give me crap about the whole go back to the drawing board, but I do think there's your statements of his tactics are somewhat outdated. Even with better players, it's showing. So
but
I
see, the
think
problem
Tata has to prove something.
is Tata won't go back to the drawing board. Tata will just keep running out the same tactics. He's not one to change.
All right, moving on, because I knew we were at 70 minutes, so we got to go to sleep at some point. Will Messi limit minutes the first Saudi games to really show up in the second? I think that's 100% dependent. I'm answering first, by the way, if you haven't noticed. I think that's 100% dependent on if Ronaldo plays. If Ronaldo's playing, let's get into conspiracy theory. Messi is a Saudi Arabian ambassador. Ronaldo plays in Saudi Arabia. This is what they're paying to see. If Ronaldo's going to play, I absolutely think this is going to happen. If Ronaldo's not, I think it's more about Tata experimenting and trying to figure out what he has for real play.
Yeah, I can totally see Messi playing just a little bit in the first game and saving it for the second game, because I think the second game is it's a bigger occasion. It's probably the closest in this preseason that we're going to get to like full match competitiveness if Ronaldo plays. So yeah.
All right. Might be our last question. This might be our last question. Maybe we got one more from Joe Kerr that maybe if I'm being mean, we'll post. Jeffrey Poole, of all the homegrowns, who has the best season? Branson, you wanna kick us off on that one?
I think David Ruiz. I think he's gonna take the next step this year, and I think he'll probably have the best season of the homegrowns, just because like he's the one who probably established himself the most last year and has put himself in a position to be able to play a lot this year. I would have said Kremoski had he not been injured for 2 to 3 months. If he wasn't going to be out, I would think that would be my pick. But I really think Ruiz is going to take the next step this year, and just kind of cement himself as, if not the one of the starters in the midfield, like the first man off the bench.
I agreed with you and then disagreed. And that's what I'm saying is I think it's Ruiz hands down, regardless of what happens to Benha. I think Ruiz is the most tactically flexible. I'm not sure there's a position on the pitch that he couldn't be plugged into. And so I think that Tata is going to use that. Tata played him quite a bit last season. We saw him start the second game. So I believe the second game was kind of applying some lessons learned from the first game, and the fact that that Ruiz started was like, hey, all right, we started with Benha, we saw what happened. Let's see with Ruiz. I do think it'll be telling the next two games if Ruiz starts in the midfield or not. Sorry, I got distracted by Mike V's comment here. But I do think it's Ruiz. I will throw out one kind of off the wall one. I don't know if Dos Santos is a homegrown, but if something happens to Calendar,
no, he doesn't count as a homegrown.
Doesn't count as homegrown. I was just say if Calendar, there was rumors at one point Calendar was they were shopping Calendar. If something were to happen to Calendar, in a positive manner, let's only talk in a positive manner. I do think Dos Santos could really come out of the gate and prove that he's a pretty darn good keeper.
Hey, I think it's possible. I think Dos Santos could be good. Dos Santos could be good, but we'll see.
I saw Albert made the show. Here. Albert was flying without Wi-Fi. Told us he couldn't make the show, but he made it. So we really appreciate you coming and watching the show tonight. And good news is your son did not make any comments that we need to backtrack. So you did great. Everything good for you. Finally, last one, just to put this up there. Who is the greatest USA player of all time, and why is it Pulisic? Branson, I think this is for you.
It's not Pulisic. His name is Landon Donovan. Look him up.
I don't know. I would have gone Tim Howard, but just from that one 15 or 16 save game where he kept the team in it more than anyone else. Steve asking if we're gonna have guests on. Yes, we will.
Yes.
This is the first live show, and I don't think it's gone horribly. Feel free to kind of let us know and Twitter and social later on if we totally screwed this up. But we definitely plan to have guests on. We're still kind of figuring things out. But look, man, Brandon, look at this. You've got agreement with you. Finally. Landon Donovan.
Mike, now you know what it feels like to be right.
I always know that feeling. I live in a permanent state of rightness.
Yeah. Delusion.
But yeah, we're definitely gonna have guests. Give us, we've had some friends of the show that we definitely will have on. We've already talked to them. There's some other Inter Miami podcasts that are friendly with us. So we want to have some of them on, and then eventually we do want to get some maybe not so nice guests on that can talk about their teams and things of that nature. So give us a little bit. We're trying to spin it up a little bit at a time, but we're super excited to finally do this live show. Been watching. I've been sitting also in Twitter and watching, in YouTube, watching people jump on and jump off. But really appreciate you all coming out and listening to us tonight. Dempsey's number 2.
He might be 3. I think Beasley might be 2, in my opinion.
There's, we did make the World Cup, 3rd place in the World Cup in 1932. So I think sometimes when we do these things, we forget there was players very, very, very long time ago.
Yeah.
But it's hard.
It's hard. One person from that team.
Oh, I can't. But I'm just saying they exist. I think Landon Donovan is the best for a long time. It's tough to. It's really tough to argue that one. As much as I was giving you crap.
It's all right. You can be right too.
Actually, to be fair, Joe's comment was who's the greatest USA player of all time, not U.S. men's national team. So you can start talking about like Mia Hamm as a possible answer to this question as well.
Mia Hamm definitely in that conversation. I don't know. We could go on and on. I think when you go into the Mount Rushmore of U.S. soccer players, there's a lot more women on that list than there are men.
Oh, hands down.
Deservedly so.
Hands down. I mean, there's a lot more World Cup wins on the women's side than the men's side.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
All right. I think it's time to wrap this up.
Yeah. Thank you guys for joining us. If first live show is in the can. So if you liked it, let us know. Let us know what you guys would like to see us do different. If you didn't like it, if you missed out and you're listening to the recording, subscribe, hit the bell on YouTube. You'll get notified when we schedule things, when we go live. And, we try to drop shorts throughout the week, keep you guys engaged in between shows. And we appreciate you guys and getting
by the way,
we do Magic 50.
We do have a Facebook page now. I launched that. So the music's playing. I'm dropping off. Thank you all so much.